Hi, I'm Nan. In this video, my colleague Randal, David, and I will give you an overview of the PICO Spatial SDK, show you how to set it up, and guide you through building your spatial app from scratch. With the SDK and its supporting tools, whether you are an Android app developer, or 3D experience developer, or just a beginner step into the spatial computing, you can easily get started. First, let me walk you through the key features and capabilities of the SDK. The SDK has everything you need to create adaptive spatial experiences that blend seamlessly into your world, whether it's virtual or real. It includes a declarative UI framework, unified 3D rendering, natural spatial interaction, and spatial video and audio. Every part of the system is made to help you turn your ideas into reality. Our SDK uses Kotlin and a modern declarative UI framework designed specifically for spatial apps. These UI frameworks allow developers to create spatial interfaces with composable and reactive code. That means developers can define how the interface looks based on its state, using small reusable components that automatically update when the data changes. Accompanied by our UI elements, it makes 3D UI development as easy as building modern Android apps. Building on top of our UI elements, we give traditional 2D interfaces a new sense of space, letting them float, rotate, and sit naturally inside a 3D space. Developers can even drop 3D objects into 2D layouts, making the interactions more intuitive and alive. This allows developers who are familiar with 2D app development to gradually transition their experiences into a 3D space, without jumping straight into the complexity of a fully immersive environment. Regarding the 3D features, we provide realistic rendering with dynamic lighting, shadows, and particles. It's powered by a real-time physics and animation system to make the movements and interactions look natural. It gives developers capabilities to create 3D experiences that look virtually great and expressive. With hand tracking and gesture input, users can grab, point at, and interact with 3D objects directly by moving their hands naturally. And besides that, features like gaze and pinch, expressive hand poses, and motion controllers make all interactions feel even more intuitive and immersive. With the environmental sensing for plane detection and the mesh reconstructions, virtual elements can accurately align and interact with the physical world. With 3D playback and advanced post-processing features such as shader graphs and feathering, developers can easily fine-tune the virtual transitions to create smooth, immersive spatial video experiences. Plus, with the spatial audio for channels, ambient sounds, and 3D objects, every sound feels alive, moving, and responding naturally within your environment. To make all these spatial features easy to use, we provide a complete toolchain: the PICO Spatial plugin, the PICO Spatial Editor, and PICO Emulator, so you can start building immersive experiences fast on PICO. With the plugin for Android Studio, you can create spatial apps from ready-made project templates and launch the editor and the emulator directly inside Android Studio. Developing 3D applications is hard without being able to see and manipulate objects directly in space. That's why we built the editor, a virtual 3D scene editor designed for spatial app development. You can import and manage 3D assets, compose scenes, configure components, and preview changes in real time, all in one unified workspace. The emulator allows you to develop on the PICO OS without a physical device. It lets you quickly run, debug, and enhance the quality of spatial applications without relying on hardware. You can perform real-time simulations and profiling just as you would on a headset, improving quality and saving time before you ever put it on. Now, I'd like to hand it over to my colleague David, who will walk you through setting up our development environment step by step. David, it's your turn.
Thank you, Nan. Hi there, I'm David. Let's take a look now at how quick and easy it is to set up your first spatial app with the PICO Spatial SDK. First, we need to get and install Android Studio and the PICO Spatial plugin. The Spatial plugin integrates directly into your workspace all the tools you need to build amazing spatial apps with ease. If you are in the beta program, you can acquire the Spatial plugin by following the instructions in the developer documentation. I recommend you to verify that your Android Studio and Android SDK installations match the recommended versions. After the beta program, the download approach for the Spatial plugin will change. Next, we will use the Spatial plugin to install the PICO Spatial Editor and the PICO Emulator. These tools let you edit, preview, and test your app efficiently, even without the physical device. To install them, open the Android Studio settings and go to Languages and Frameworks, PICO Spatial Tools. If you cannot see the PICO Spatial Tools under Languages and Frameworks, please verify that you have installed the Spatial plugin, as described earlier in this video. On the list of Spatial Tools, select the latest version available of the Spatial Editor and the PICO Emulator, and then press Apply. An installer will open. Complete the steps and wait while everything downloads and installs smoothly. Once our tools have been installed, we can create a new Spatial project using the template provided by the Spatial plugin. In order to do this, please open the File menu in the top bar and select New Spatial Project. A window will open, showing the Spatial WindowContainer template. This template gives you a ready-to-run project structure, such that you can start building your spatial experience right away. Click Next to configure the basic settings of your project. Now that our project is set up, we would like to use the PICO Emulator to test it. The PICO Emulator simulates a PICO device on your computer, allowing you to test your app by running it in the exact same way as it would run on the real headset. Open the Device Manager by revealing the View menu and selecting Tool Windows, Device Manager. In the Device Manager, click on the plus button to add a new device, and then select Create PICO Emulator. Just like this, our emulator instance is ready. You can click the Start button to launch it. Finally, we can build and run the project directly into the emulator. Please make sure that your emulator instance is selected as the running device. Once confirmed, press the play button to build and run and watch your first spatial scene come to life. With only these 4 simple steps, you are ready to begin your journey into spatial app development. Now, I hand it over to my colleague Randal, who will help you dive deeper into the core concepts of spatial apps through our welcome space example.
Thanks, Nan and David. Hi everyone, I'm Randal. You've just seen what's possible with our SDK and how quickly you can get started with our template projects. Now, I want to introduce you to Welcome Space, our first complete spatial app example. It's available as part of our sample collection on the website. It showcases many of the core building blocks you'll use as you start creating your own spatial experiences. First, we'll look at how to organize 2D and 3D content using different types of spatial containers. A spatial container defines how your app lives and behaves in space. You'll see how it works in both shared space, where your app coexists with others, and full space, where your app takes up the entire environment. We'll also explore how to leverage spatial interaction to create experiences that feel intuitive, fluid, and engaging. Let's take a look. Welcome Space uses 3 types of spatial containers, each designed for a specific type of experience. Let's start with the Planar WindowContainer. We use this type of container for pages like the home page, the furniture library page, and the decor space page. A Planar WindowContainer is a clean, lightweight container that's designed mainly for 2D content, with the flexibility to include simple 3D elements when needed. It's your go-to choice for static or decorative models, as well as content with light animations or interaction. Next, we move on to something more 3D, the Volumetric WindowContainer. When you tap the View button on the Furniture Library page, a Volumetric WindowContainer opens to display that item in detail. This is where things get truly spatial. Volumetric WindowContainers are ideal for medium-scale 3D objects, gadgets, wearables, and everyday items people naturally want to explore up close. They deliver a stronger sense of spatial presence and richer interaction, all while keeping you in the shared space, right alongside other apps. But what if you want to go even more immersive to let the app take over the whole space? That's where the stage comes in. When you enter the virtual room in Welcome Space, the app opens a stage. A stage is a large-scale container for room-scale models and immersive 3D scenes. Unlike the other containers that keep apps within the shared space, a stage transitions users into a full space where your app occupies the entire environment. This is ideal for spatial tracking, environmental wellness, or boundless immersive 3D storytelling. So, each container plays a distinct role. Planar WindowContainer for lightweight interfaces, Volumetric WindowContainer for spatial information, and Stage for large scenes and full space experience. Now, let's break down how Welcome Space uses each of these containers. The homepage shows you an example of using a Planar WindowContainer for pure 2D content. If you are familiar with Jetpack Compose, this will feel immediately intuitive. You can use the same declarative composition patterns you already know. The layout is simple and elegant. A full-screen background image with a row composable that overlays at the bottom and organizes a horizontal layout. On the left, a column vertically stacks the title and body text. On the right, 2 buttons provide navigation to different views. It's everything you'd expect from the traditional 2D layout, straightforward and familiar. Now, let's tap the Browse Furniture button. This takes us to the Furniture Library page, and this is where things get interesting. We're still in a Planar WindowContainer, but now we're blending 2D and 3D content on the same page. The key component here is the Spatial Model View. This is what holds our 3D models. You can see 5 furniture items displayed as cards. Each card is composed of 3 parts. At the top, a Spatial Model View shows the 3D model. At the bottom left, a column containing the title and description text. And in the bottom right corner, a View button. This makes the layout represents a fundamental shift in interface design. We are breaking free from the constraints of flat screens. Instead of describing a lamp with just text and images, you are placing the actual lamp right in the space. Users can view it from different angles and understand its full shape. This spatial interface design is a new way of presenting information that simply wasn't possible before with flat UI. It adds an extra layer of spatial information that extends far beyond what 2D text or images can convey. Now, tap the View button on any item card in the Furniture Library. A Volumetric WindowContainer opens right in front of you. You can walk around it, lean in, and inspect every detail of the model, just as if it were physically placed in your space. At the bottom, you'll find the Control wheel. It lets you move, minimize, group, or close the window containers with ease. Unlike a planar WindowContainer, the Volumetric WindowContainer places its control wheel on the front side of the content. So it's easy to grab and drag the container anywhere you want. And here's a thoughtful detail. As you move around the volume, the control wheel will always reorient itself to face you. So whether you are viewing the container from the front, side, or even behind, the control wheel follows you and stays accessible. You never have to reach around the volume to find it. There's another nice touch. When you hover near the bottom of the volumetric window container, a base panel appears. It gives you a visual cue of the container's boundaries and helps you understand where the model sits in your space. In Welcome Space, we also added a custom toolbar positioned at the bottom front of the volume. It provides controls for viewing the models, like rotate around the up axis, toggle lighting, show or hide info tags, and reset the model to its original transform. Now you can see models in your space with rich detail and control them with a few buttons. But you might still wonder, can I interact with them directly? After all, direct manipulation is what really brings them to life. In Welcome Space, every 3D model responds to spatial inputs. On the Furniture Library page and the Decorate Space page, you can rotate any item by dragging with one hand. When you open an item in the volumetric view, you can get even more control. Single-hand rotation still works, but now you can also pinch with both hands to scale the model. Scale up to inspect the fine details, or scale down to understand its overall shape. So, how does this work under the hood? All these interactions are powered by the dot pointer input modifier. We attach this modifier to the spatial model view in the Planar WindowContainer and to the spatial view in the Volumetric WindowContainer. For single-hand rotation, we use detectSpatialDragGestures, which provides a 3D drag vector. We process it through a simple algorithm to define the rotation axis and angle, producing a smooth, intuitive rotation around the model. For scaling, we use detectSpatialScaleGestures. It measures the distance between your two pinched hands as you move them closer together or farther apart. That distance maps to a dynamic scale factor, which we then apply with smooth interpolation and adjustable sensitivity. So the model expands or contracts naturally, as if it's responding to your hands. And that's just the beginning. We've provided templates, sample code, and detailed guides for the SDK and Toolchain. You'll find more documentation on the PICO developer website. Now, it's your turn. Build something spatial and show to the world. We can't wait to see what you create.